Hey again, everybody. If you saw my previous video, I did one earlier. It's still Saturday, the 21st, 2020. It's about 9:30, more or less, maybe 9:40 right now in the morning. Um, I went inside the Phillips Gourmet Deli on Phillips Avenue and Tremont Avenue in the Bronx, New York, and got a roast beef sandwich with a fried egg, a little like medium, and spicy mustard on a toasted hamburger roll. And since it's Saturday, it's the Sabbath for those who believe in it, and you shouldn't be buying cooked food or buying anything till the sun goes down. If today is actually the Sabbath and you're a believer, but I did. I am guilty of that. Okay. While I was in there, I saw the New York Post, and I did some more buying. And in today's post, it says NYPD, New York Police Department, union boss warns strap hangers, you're on your own. This is the union boss is Patrick Lynch of the Police Patrolmen's Benevolent Association. You like him or hate him, he's right on the money with this thing. People getting pushed on the subway tracks left and right. You can't have anybody stand behind you. I wouldn't even stand near the tracks. I haven't been on the subway in I don't even remember how long. Do a lot of driving, but I don't have any need to be. I haven't had any need in recent times to actually take a subway train. I've been on the bus more than a train. I try not to even take any public transportation. Thank you God that I have other means of transport, but I know everybody doesn't. Like I said, Pat Lynch, the union head, said that the polls, the politicians, I guess he means, are doing nothing. I'm reading directly the bottom of the newspaper, the front of the newspaper on the bottom. Amid a recent spate of commuters being shoved to the tracks, police union boss Pat Lynch said riders need to be worried because polls are doing nothing. And I agree. And there's a picture of NYPD captain or above in uniform looking down on the tracks. So that's the problem with the subway in New York is that, it sounds stupid and really simple, but anybody can get on the train. And there's no safeguards to letting everybody get on the train. And you have a lot of crazy people out here. You have a lot of homeless people out here that have, mental illness. You have a lot of people that have homes out here that are mentally ill and willing to kill. And that rhymes. I did that on purpose. A little levity goes a long way, but it's not a lie. So, New Yorkers and the rest of the country, be careful out there. I know it's not just here, but because New York, even though people were fleeing New York in droves, they said like 300,000 people have moved out of New York City. Don't blame them. Wish to be one of them soon. There's still a lot of people here. They're still packed in, agitated because they're wearing these stupid masks, scared to death because they hear coronavirus. They think they're going to drop, even though there is I don't know the exact number. I know it'll be way below 1%. And if you get sick, most likely you're going to recover. I'm not downplaying it. I know people that got seriously ill and were hospital for months from it. So I know it's out there. And Ben Carson, President Trump's Secretary of Housing, I know he caught the virus, but I was reading this morning that he had it really bad, and he thought he was going to pass away. And I'm not downplaying it. It's out here, and you have to protect yourself. I would agree with, I conform to the mask thing. When I go inside a location, I wear my mask. I said this on other videos already. When I go inside, I wear my mask. If somebody's coming towards me, I'll throw my mask on, or I'll walk in the street. Or if I'm with a whole bunch of people, which is rare, but it happens. When I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of crowd of people, walking down the sidewalk, I'll throw my mask on to make them feel comfortable, so I'll feel comfortable. And when I'm working whatever capacity at work, I would throw my mask on when necessary. But just I don't even know if it helps. But the powers that be want you to wear the mask. I'll wear it. I'll follow the laws. I don't know about that vaccine though. It's more than I don't know. I'm not going to, without being arrogant. I'm not going to have my nose running on this video. Without being arrogant, I don't want to say, I'm not gonna take it, but take a vaccine. Have a doctor inject me with stuff. And if you ever go to the doctor and you tell them that, this happened to me last year before the pandemic. In February of last year, I had a physical, and the doctor asked me, do I want the flu vaccine? And I politely said no. And he didn't ask me why, but we went into a conversation about that, and I told him an incident I had at my old job where the lady gave me a hard time because I didn't want to take the whatever flu was out, the bird flu that was out. I think it was the bird flu that was out that year. And there was a vaccine for it, and I didn't take it. And she went off on me. But I still didn't take it. And should have made a fuss about that, too. Maybe I gotten paid a little bit. But I don't know, this time is different. I think they're going to try and, especially if Biden becomes president, which he's already acting as if he's been chosen. He hasn't been. So all those who think that he's been chosen, as of this date, he hasn't been selected yet. So don't count your chickens. Those eggs haven't hatched. And there's a good possibility that it has been voted for. But I digress. Anyway, you have Rosie Perez on page 3 of the New York Post. She looks like she's at the Empire State Building doing a photo shoot. She's wearing a red dress, and she's saying, I'm paraphrasing, that she loves New York City and is going to bounce back and all that. And my answer to that, how do you know it's going to bounce back? And this is something totally different. They're going to try to vaccinate people. A lot of people can work from home, and even going back. And people are tired of all the crime that's going on here. And the crime now is tolerated. And I don't think the police, and I understand they're not doing. They don't want to lose their freedom. When you have one bad day out there and you have to shoot somebody, or you have to hurt somebody, they want to look at you 3 ways, but not looking at the other side. I'm not saying things don't happen, but most of the time, when things do happen, it's justified. So that's just the truth. And anyway, Rosie Perez is standing by her city, I'm reading, as part of Town and Country's love letter to New York. The Brooklyn-born December-January cover star, voice of the mask, PSAs. She wears a mask, advertising a mask. Her and I think Chris Rock did it a couple months ago. And it plays on PSA is a public service announcement in the subway system. It says, this pandemic hit, and it has hit us hard, but still I have faith in New York. Have faith in God. I don't have faith in New York. I don't think this city is going to bounce back. I don't think it's going to vanish from the face of the earth at this time. But you don't know what's going to happen from day to day. People that can leave are leaving. And people want to leave. After 9/11, believe it or not, people wanted to come in because it was exciting here. You saw New York, and it was a little tougher back then and gritty. As a matter of fact, New York has, before this pandemic happened, it has a lot of people that are transplants, basically, that weren't native to New York. Even though they say they are, I've been here over a year, I'm native. No, you weren't born here, raised here. You're not a native New Yorker, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people transplanted here after 9/11 because it was exciting. It was rebuilding. There's an advertisement to come here, and there's a reason to come here. Crime was still down. That was a vicious crime in itself, 9/11. by whoever you think did it. Um, and people love the fire department. Really, really love the fire department. They were heroes, and rightfully so. And the police and everybody here, they came together. You know, you saw the people that and this is a true story because I saw in my own eyes the people that happened to be Muslim, or they were wearing their flags on their shirt because they wanted to show they weren't part of that, you know. But this is a different story, man. And crime is going up. The leadership in New York City now is different, and this guy, Mayor de Blasio, he doesn't seem to care. His attitude is, if you're gonna leave, leave. If you're rich and you want to leave, leave. We don't need you. So that's fine. You don't need you, but who's gonna pay the bills? You know. Now the people that here can pay the bills are gonna have to raise taxes. Who's gonna be down with that? I'm not. I'm down paying higher taxes than I already pay. Not if I can help it. Even Governor Cuomo has, and I'm not a fan of his, has a sense to say no, that you can't have your tax bases leave. He said come back, I'll make dinner for you. I'll cook dinner. Wow, crazy. So crime is bad here. Don't let anybody, even in the street, even above ground, or a lot of the subway system in New York, for those that are watching this, a lot of the subway system is above ground. So above ground on the subway system, if you're riding the bus, if you're walking down the street, make sure you know who's behind you, because you got a lot of people here that they never got a trophy, or they, you know, or everybody got a trophy when they were a kid. Now they think, you know, everything is cool. It's not cool, you know, to hurt another person who's not bothering you. Of course, there's a lady. Let me go to that story on page 4 and 5 of today's New York Post. Once again, polls leaving us strap hanging. Politicians means. That's another thing when they talk about the coronavirus is causing the lockdowns. If you take out coronavirus and put in the politicians, because they're the ones closing things down. You know, and I understand if you're worried and all that, but you made a decision. Own it. You own it. Don't say the corona was shut down for the coronavirus. You hear on the news, and everybody interviewing the news, it says it's the coronavirus. It's the politicians that are closing the city down. Mayor de Blasio is getting ready to shut the city down again. Yeah, I think he likes that. It keeps him in the limelight. You know, he's a horrible mayor. He wanted to be president. Oh, man. The head of NYPD's largest union issued a stark warning to subway riders on Friday amid the recent rash of shoving attacks by unhinged assailants. You're on your own. This is a police officer telling you that. Because he's the union rep for the police department. He's still an NYPD police officer. I'm not saying right or wrong. The police officer is telling you that. You're on your own. Police Benevolent Association President Pat Lynch accused lawmakers of preventing cops from doing their jobs. I'm reading this, and advising strap hangers to keep both eyes wide open, like I just said, to avoid becoming victims. The politicians have made it abundantly clear that they don't want cops enforcing transit system rules. That's 100% true. Connecting the homeless with services, engaging with seriously mentally ill people, or doing any of these things necessary to prevent these terrifying random attacks. That's what Pat Lynch said. Because now they want to, and I think it's going to be implemented soon, depending on the 911 call you get, they want to send a social worker. You social workers out there, be careful, because that can change over mighty quick. That can change over mighty quick to a life and death a situation. Are these social workers, which a police officer is a social worker half the time anyway, without that particular degree? Are you social workers going to be part of the NYPD? Are you going to be trained, and are you going to have weapons? Or that's the idea, we don't want you to have weapons. Just go in there willy-nilly because those things can escalate bad and fast. Fast is what I meant to say. And this is from another NYPD union. Meanwhile, another NYPD union, that's redundant, official pointed to the costly mental health program run by First Lady Shirley McCray, that's de Blasio's wife, which has come under fire for its spending and questionable results. Thrive New York City seems to be a scam and has done nothing to address the mentally ill. The Sergeants Benevolent Association President Ed Mullins. The only chance of stopping the violence lies in the hands of NYPD Transit Chief Kathleen O'Reilly, who seems to be a tough lady, you know. And can I say lady now? She's that NYPD officer, the chief, is a female, so that's why. But she's tough and strong, you know. I'd ride with her. I'd ride with her, you know. Lost my track. The NYPD should give her, this is Mullins, who's the head of the Sergeants Union, the SBA. I guess the Sergeants Benevolent Association, I forget. The NYPD should give her unlimited resources to help make the subway system safe again. Yesterday, the last shoving victim that was reported was a 40-year-old woman, and was shoveled into the path of a train at the 14th Street Union Square station around 8:30 in the morning yesterday. Well, Thursday, it said this happened. She narrowly escaped death. And they showed it. The way the train, as she was pushed, the train came right in over her. So she was in the right place at the right time, or had the state of mind to do, you know, get in the right position. From her parents on TV, she's like, you know, a smaller person. And that might have saved her life. And I'm glad for her. I'm glad she's okay. And I'm glad she doesn't remember that. But her daughter, who was interviewed, you know, that's traumatizing to hear that happened to your mother. Some bum. And I don't mean bum like you're homeless and all that, but some bum as you would do that. They say he's emotionally ill. So what are you going to do with somebody that has emotional problems like that? You know? What use is he to himself or society if he's on the train just pushing people on the tracks? That's another thing. You know, if I say what I want to say, I'm the bad guy. Oh, you're evil. What is he going? What are you going to do with him? What can he do? What kind of job can he hold? How can he help himself or society? He's just on a train and he pushing random people on. And she probably was a little woman. That's why he picked her. I bet she had the state of mind to pick her before he went back into his emotional disturbance. And okay. Transport Workers Union, that's the TWU, probably Local 100. Eric Logel, I used to be part of that union and the PPA. He called it a very disturbing trend and blamed Mayor de Blasio, and that's rightfully so, that's what I'm saying, for not doing more about the homeless and mentally ill people living in the subways. Shouldn't be living in the subways. They had to get off the subway. And during the beginning of this pandemic, I thought that was the idea. In the morning, get them out the train system. But, you know, they can flow back in as they want. Anybody can get in this and get in the train. You know, there's very few stations that have police. I haven't been down there, like I said earlier. I haven't been down the subway system. But I doubt if that, like, every station is manned, and I doubt if most of them are manned by a police officer. Who is a deterrent? That's the unit. The uniform is a deterrent for crime. The union leader for the TW, and continue on, said this. He said this mayor, talking about de Blasio, seems very disengaged with what's going on in the city. Yes, he is part of Local 100 as I'm reading. NTA board member Andrew Albert suggests crackdown on fare beaters. Worked before. I've been writing a lot lately, and I see it everywhere. It's like the thing to do now, he said. If 10% of the people that are committing these crimes pay their fare, I would be surprised. You're not paying your fare. If you're doing crime, you're not paying your fare. You're not paying your fare. Let me go down and rob somebody, put somebody in the tracks, but let me pay my $2.75 to get on the train to do it. They're not paying the fare. And that's true. And that's logical sense. But people say, oh, they're not paying the fare. You're not paying $2.75 unless you're going to do a major heist. And that's not happening too often. Anyway, mayor is very disengaged. So the city should be keeping closer tabs on nonprofits. It pays to care for mentally ill people and sharing the relevant data with the public. Anyway, I'm rambling now. The lady who was actually pushed, who survived, and she had very minimal injuries thanks to the quick thinking, and for you believers, thanks to the Most High, who spared her life. The Brooklyn woman, I'm reading, who was pushed in front of the train in Union Square, said she has no memory of the horrifying attacks, as I mentioned earlier. Good for her. Liliana Sagbicilia, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. She's only 40 years old. She's a baby to me. Was shoved in front of an oncoming 5 train. I've ridden the 5 train before, by a stranger on her way to a cleaning job at 8:30 in the morning. She told another news organization, 1010 when she's lucky to be alive and has much to be thankful this Thanksgiving. You can't give thanks this Thanksgiving, only if you're by yourself, or what's the minimum now? 7 people? I'm taking your mask down but once you put the food in your mouth, put the mask back up. That's from the governor of California, Newsom. He wants you to do that. But Governor Cuomo wants to limit the number of people. The NYPD always said we're not enforcing that law, and Cuomo didn't like that. What the heck with it? So what happened? She says what she does remember is when she arrived there, she wanted to listen. I wanted to listen, this is her saying, to my Bible, so I put it on this one, and I remember the last thing that I remember. So she's listening to the Bible audio, and then she got pushed and went blank. I didn't know what happened. When I was in the hospital, I wake up. I think her English is, I'm reading literally. She said I wake up. Her English is limited. I saw her on TV. I opened my eyes and said, what happened? I think I was dreaming because I didn't have an idea. She said later, they cut my clothes. Later, I say, what happened? You had an accident. I guess the responding people said you had an accident. I saw the video. The man, oh my God, I can't believe it, said emotional, and they put her name. I put it Liliana because the last name I can't pronounce. This is happening. Now I understand why everybody and the police say to me, you are alive for the miracles. You are alive. You are alive for the miracles. You are a miracle. The lady landed right in the bed between the rails and was relatively unscathed by the 2 train cars that passed over her in a split second. Yeah, because it was really a split second later, according to the video. The suspect his name is a male, Aditya, Aditya, last name Vemulapati, Vemulapati. He's only 24 years old. Who police say is homeless, was being held without bail. He'll be out soon. On charges of attempted murder and assault. His lawyers are going to say he's crazy and he's going to be released. And you have to do something with these people. Even if you are crazy, you have to do something with these people. The officers told the lady that she still has to formally file a complaint, even though she was scared to take the subway. The one thing the detective told her, he has the reason if he didn't put the charge, he's going to do it again. Because we got to let him free. He's going to do it to somebody. It's a damn shame. Anyway, that's it for that. There's other news, but I guess that's for another time. Hope you like this video. There's a lot of reading. I'm new to this. I still only have 5 subscribers, and I want more. Would you subscribe to my channel, please? Okay? I'm waiting for it. Thank you, and I'd appreciate it. I'll try to help you in the future if I can. Thank you, and have a great rest of your weekend, and be safe. And watch your back, everybody. There's people out there to hurt you. Some people. Enough people out there to hurt you. A lot more people out there to hurt you than you might think. I put it like that. Okay, thank you.